Okay, so live coding challenge day 4, right? Yeah, 4. Here we go. All right, expressions matter. I'm sure they do. Okay, so given 3 integers, a, b, and c, return the largest number obtained after inserting the following operators and brackets. Okay. In other words, try every combination of a, b, and c with times, plus, and parentheses and return the maximum obtained. Okay? Here's an example. 1, 2, and 3, some ways of placing signs in brackets. Blah, 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 blah. The maximum value that you can obtain is 9. Now here we have 2. You multiply twice. Okay, so, and they don't even use brackets here. Well, you don't need them when you've got them in the correct order here, I suppose. So you only need them when you're going to add first instead of multiply first, I suppose. Okay. Numbers are always positive. That's good. Always in the range of... Okay, so greater than or equal to 1, less than or equal to 10, so there's never going to be multiplying by 0. Okay. Same operation more than once, which we saw up here. Not necessary to place all the signs and brackets, as we saw up here as well. Repetition in numbers may occur. Not in this, but it could be 3 1s or 3 10s. Something like that. Okay. You cannot swap the operands. For instance, in the given example, you cannot get expression 1 plus 3. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's always in the same order. In other words, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it's always in the same order. Okay. Okay. Input, output examples. Okay, so here's the input. So it's not an array, it's just 3 integers. Okay. Given 3 integers, yep. And then the return is going to be a single integer, the maximum. The, what do they call it? Maximum obtained. Okay, input, output. It's so nice that they break it down for us like this because, you know, like in a coding interview, an actual interview, they would basically just give you the first part. So basically this task, give you the task, and then you would have to ask the questions, think about all these edge cases. For example, are there any negative numbers? Is it ever going to be 0, etc.? Ask if you can use it more than once, etc. So yeah, it gets more complicated in interviews, and sometimes they're looking for that. They're looking to see what questions you ask, and whether you can actually think of all the different edge cases that could come up and what you actually have to deal with. So Code Wars makes it simple in that sense. Input, output. Okay, explanation. After placing signs and brackets, the maximum value obtained from the expression 1, 1, 1, return 3. Oh, this is the explanation for input, output. Okay. 1, 1, 1, return 3, explanation. Right, because if these were all multiplied, it would just be 1. That makes sense. Or if it's 1 plus 1 times 1, it would be 2. Yeah, so that makes sense. After placing signs and brackets, maximum. Oh, yeah. 9, 1, 1. Haha. 18. 9 times 1 plus 1 is 18. Yep, so that'd be more than multiplying by 1 and then adding 1 in any case. Okay, so what are we going to do with this here? Train. What are we going to do with this? Yep, so we get 3 integers, achieve highest result. Okay, return max number. Well, let's see, max result. Sounds good. Okay. let's just say that that's what I'm gonna return at the end. Yeah, so I'm taking my time to think here. Now, what are all the possible combinations in any case here? Like in these cases, are these all the combinations? Obviously, I don't have 1 plus 2 plus 3 in here. They don't have 1 times 2 plus 3, 1 times 2 plus, they have 1 times 2 plus 3, but they don't have 1 times 2 plus 3, so that'd be 2 plus 3 is 5. They don't, yeah, so there are other situations here that they don't go through. Now looking at this, like, I get overwhelmed at the idea of how many different iterations I would have to go through to figure it out myself. But thinking like a computer, computers aren't fazed at all by how many iterations there are. They can do iterations lickety-split, like no problem. So I don't have to be overwhelmed by my human limitations because I have a computer to help me. I can just tell the computer what to do. It's just figuring out how to communicate with the computer what I want it to do. That is the problem. So how am I going to communicate to this computer what I want it to do? So I have 1, 2, 3. And I have several combinations. This is not something I have done before. Oh, and here's different examples or tests. 1, 1, 1, that was one of the examples. So the only reason you use parentheses, the only reason is because you want to add first instead of multiply first, because that's what will automatically happen, is multiplying first. So basically your options are multiply and add. Your options are multiply and add, multiply and multiply, add and multiply, add and add. Oh, look at that. See, that's the same order and the same, but the parentheses. Add and multiply, add and add. Oh, right. You can add, you can multiply and add, multiply and multiply, add and add. Right now I'm trying to figure out, like, if I'm just going to do like a switch statement, or if I'm just going to write a conditional statement, how many conditions would I have to hard code in order to just basically loop through all those conditions, and then return basically the high. I could push each of the results into an array and then just return the maximum result in that array, or like the index. No, you don't even have to know which one. You don't even have to know which one returns the best result, highest result. You just have to know what the highest result is. So yeah, just return the maximum number in that array. So that's one way to do it. So I'm trying to figure out how many different conditions that would be, because that's the approach that I can think of right now. So yeah, so basically you can do times and times, times and plus, times and times, plus and plus, times and plus, plus and times. And then you can, okay, so that's without any parentheses, but then with parentheses you can do plus and times and plus, making the plus happen first. So there's 6. So I'm pretty sure that's all the combinations. So for 6 different iterations, there's 6 different conditions, basically. So I guess that's what I'll do. Okay, so I'm going to say there's A plus B plus C, okay, and then there's A times B times C, and there might be a less lengthy way of doing this, like hard coding this, but since I have limited time and this is basically what I came up with, this is what I'm going to do, and I think it's still going to work. So A plus B, yep, A plus B times C, and then A times B. It's a little tedious, but that's okay. Plus C, but you know, this is all the work I need to do, and the computer's going to do the rest. So there you go. And then we're going to do A plus B times C, okay? And then, yeah, so that's basically that, except you add first, yep. And then finally, let's not get confused here, A times B plus C. All right, I think those are all the different combinations we can do. Yeah, and I'm going to push it into an array. So let me just create an array here. Let results equal, it's going to be an empty array to begin with. And then I'm pretty sure you just get results push I'm pretty sure that will work actually. Push A plus B plus C. Yeah, I think so. Results push, because the other approach would be to create another variable that assign this to a variable and then just pass the variable in, but I'm pretty sure that's the same result, so I'll just do this. Dot push C times C results push. Alright. And now that I'm seeing how many repetitions there are, I know that there's a way to loop through this, because basically when you're programming you don't want to repeat yourself, and there's usually a way to not have to repeat yourself so much. So after I get this done, I can think about it a little more if I want to. And you don't always need a semicolon in JavaScript because it's a very forgiving language, but I do it anyway. Okay, so all of these are going to be pushed into results. And then the last thing I want to do is, now what's the method to find the maximum number in an array? I know there's a method, so I'm going to actually search number in array JavaScript, and it is math.max. Math.max returns the largest of the 0 or more numbers given as input parameters. Yeah, so I just pass the array in and it will give me the highest number. Okay, math.max, that makes sense to me. .max, yeah, results, okay, because that's the array, and I'm going to say let max result, equal, I suppose I I mean, I could just do it, not even a variable. I could just say return math.max results, but I created a variable, so I might as well use it, right? All right, so I think that does it. Test, and I failed everything. That's not good. I failed every single test. I got not a number. Expression matter. So what is happening here? These should all be numbers. So these should all be numbers. Results.push, let results equal an array. Empty array, results.push equals b plus c. Now, the question is, how do I make sure that it's calculating this first instead of just pushing this into the array? Because I wonder if it's just pushing it in as a string or something. Like, why would it not mathematics results? Okay, so if results has numbers in it, then it should be return the highest number. Return max result. Okay. So there's something wrong here, I'm thinking. Something wrong here. And how much time have I gone through already? I can't even tell right now. That's okay. Yep. Actually, I'm just going to stop because I went really long last time, and I got pretty far on this one, and I'll probably figure it out after the video.